Hello. Me siento muy honrado estar aquí. Is that okay? I don't speak Spanish, sorry. But it's really cool to be here. I'm having a nice time in Madrid so far. Drank some beers, saw some cool art. Hopefully do more of that. But I've been working as well. I'm going to talk about a little bit about me and my history at the start. But the main point of the talk is that I run a community in London for creatives and developers called, I don't run it, I'm the main facilitator of it. Nobody really runs it, but I'll go more into that as well. But it's called Dev Space, and it's for creatives to kind of get together and work together on projects, and we do some charity work and we run events and stuff like that, but I'll go for a little bit later. This is some of the stuff I've worked on. My work portfolio is all over the place because I'm a freelancer, so I get to kind of work on different stuff all the time. It's nice because I don't know, I can pick and choose different. I just work on one project at a time and move to other companies, and it's cool because I get to meet lots of people and make lots of connections and hopefully work on lots of cool games. And then I kind of use those connections and stuff to further what I do with community work and to try and help other people find work and find jobs. And people always joke that in London I should start a recruitment firm because I always find contractors for games companies and find people for jobs because I'm kind of friendly with most of the companies in London because I move around and work with everybody. So I'm from Scotland, that's why my English is as bad as most of yous. I went to Aberdeen University for a couple of years over the space of maybe 3 or 4 different courses, and just kept dropping out and dropping out and dropping out. Didn't love the setup of how you learn at university. It's not for everybody. Started making games with my brother, who works as a games artist for someone, I can't remember who, in Dundee in Scotland. He's a really talented guy as well, you should look him up, Judy Gallagher. So me and him started making games together and pitching games to companies, and we made a couple and they weren't great because I thought at the time, yeah, I'm good enough to program a whole game on my own, but I was just making it up. So then I thought, I should go and work for another bigger company first and learn what I'm doing. And I ended up in London working for Mind Candy, and worked on just loads of weird stuff there, Moshi Monsters stuff, and then Mind Candy went really fast. But we partied hard as it was going, so it was well worth it. Lots of cool companies splintered out of Mind Candy, which is why I have a lot of connections as well, because Mind Candy was a really amazing place. They hired a lot of talented people. I completely blagged my way in, had no idea what I was doing, but learned loads as I was there. After that, I worked for a startup by Trip Hawkins called If You Can. Trip Hawkins founded EA. We had a little startup and we made a weird educational game. It was quite cool. But then after that failed, and then Mind Candy had failed, and my company had failed, I was I'm a bit bored of this now. I really want to make games, so then I started freelancing and I'll make games for other people. So I've been doing that since. This is the game from If You Can. And this is from Mind Candy. This was a clone of what's it called? Candy Crush Saga? Is that what it's called? the fucking thing that your mum plays. I got put on that project and left Mind Candy 3 months later. It was awful. I did some I helped finish it off. So I make my own games now in my downtime at a company called House of Wire, which is started by me and a guy called Gallagher, because he was making this game, and I said to him, "Oh, you should have like a procedural city," and he was like, "Oh, well, if you think I should, then let you do it." So I did it for him, and then we made another weird game where you're on a boat, and you write in a diary. So we're making like weird games. That's like, I guess, like my main interest, and like if other people here do stuff like that, it'd be cool to talk to you, because I'm always really interested in meeting other people that do like weird, slow games and like abstracty stuff. Dom like never came out, maybe never will. There's a website with like a trailer with like, I got to work with this really nice voice actress called Tony Fruttini, but maybe one day I'll like do something with it. But I started doing events with House of Wire, like these physical play events, which was like really fun, because we had like Troll, we had like, you could print out your diary and put it in little bottles and take it away and stuff like that. And then because of that, I started getting involved with like people who were running events, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I'd like to do some like events and stuff myself, like events about more like different games and like indie games and stuff. Oh, wrong. This is what we're working on just now. Well, I am, with a really talented artist called Matthew Lyons. It doesn't have a name, kind of. So let's go over it. So yeah, that's basically everything I've done. It's really quick. So like the main like focus of the talk, when I got asked to talk out, like I said, oh, I'd be up for talking, and then like, oh, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just talk about like dev space. So dev space is, there was a what's that game jam called with the Latin name? Lirum Dare. There was a Lirum Dare a few years ago, and about 15 to 20 of us made like a Skype chat, and we're like, oh, let's do Lirum Dare together. And then the Skype chat lasted for like 6 months, and it was really good. And it was a really good place to to show your ideas of what you're working on and get like really like proper critical feedback, because this is like your peers and they're like doing the same stuff as you. It's not just like asking your mum or your pals what they think of your like weird new game. So like I like really, this was like really like a crutch for me to work from home, like, because sometimes it can be not like lonely, but quite insular, right? Like working from home all the time and spending all your time in front of your computer with your like weird creation as you grow to hate it and like maybe never finish it, and like it goes on and on forever. But having this space was like really cool to ask people what they thought about stuff and get feedback, and then like feedback on other people's games, and help you like to think more critically about like what you're doing, what other people are doing. And I was really lucky as well that the people in that group were very much into like the politics behind games, I guess, and like safe spaces in gaming culture, and like what's wrong with like games culture and like just our like culture in general, I guess. So I like learned a lot from that. But at some point the group started to stagnate. A few of the more chatty people left, and I thought, oh, that's a shame. I'd quite like to keep this going. So I got the people that were still talking and said, let's move to Slack. Slack's like cool and new, and maybe it'll revitalise us and we can have different channels and we can talk about different stuff, and that worked. And there was like 20 of us, and then I think we got up to about 50, and a few like really like at that point it was about 50 people, and we were just talking about game design, and we were like having a pub event every month, and it was really good because like the idea behind it was like, oh, all these people are working on similar stuff, and nobody really like, because like I've been around like all the game scene, like around lots of different companies and speaking to different people and all these indie devs. And I was like, God, like all these cool people are working on like really similar stuff, but like nobody's talking to each other. Like, so like everybody's art is going to be like really great, but very much like from their point of view. And other people were doing stuff as well, but I thought instead of just like random events, like why not have like let's have like a community where we can like get together and we can like really like talk about what we're doing and like work together, and like our art will evolve and like we can help each other and we can like create like little movements and stuff. And so the group grew to about 50, and that was happening, and it was really cool, and like people were starting to like work together on little things, and we were like talking a lot about like really deep like stuff about different kinds of games. And one day in the pub I brought up me and a Dutch fella called Olivier had tried to make like slow games for a while, similar to the House of Wire stuff. And then someone was like, oh, slow games, we should do like a game jam and just make slow games. And, okay, cool. And then one of the people that overheard it was Rosa, who I think like some of you know. So like obviously if Rosa hears about something, like it'll like blow up, like that's it. Like it's going to like be like mainstream the next day because she's like so busy and knows everybody. So like within like a few months we had this like big game jam, and like the group grew to like a couple of hundred people. And now we just have like events, and we have like one important thing for me was that it was always going to be like a really safe space. And honestly, in a year of Slack and half a year on Skype before that, I think there was one time I said to someone like, are you sure you wanted to maybe say that? And then they were like, oh, do you know what, I'm going to like maybe apologise to someone about that. But apart from that, like it's really plain sailing because everybody's really nice anyway, so it's fine. But a big factor of that was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't. I spoke to a few people, and it was like, why do you not come along to the pub meets? And they said, oh, like I don't drink, so I find it quite intimidating. And I was like, okay. So we stopped doing the pub meets, and we started doing like film nights in a space kind of like this, and then we started, because only like people who wanted to do films was into that. I was like, right, so maybe we need like a bunch of different events. So we do like film nights, and we do like photo walks, and there's like I randomly met a theatre producer at some point, so I was like, would you do like a theatre workshop with like people from our community? And she agreed to it. I didn't randomly meet her, she like goes out with one of my friends. But so now we're doing like a theatre like workshop on like play and how we can bring that into games and like physical games. So we just do all these really like different events, and it's good and it's worked out really well. And I think if I hadn't originally started it, then maybe someone else would, and maybe it would be better, because like I'm a total nightmare. Like I can't organise anything. Like Larry had to remind me like every day like that I was doing this and like where to go and like all this stuff. But yeah, like the whole point in a community like this, and I think an important part of it, is that like it's not run by a single person. So any decisions made, we put in the Slack group. The name was chosen by people just chatting in the Slack about what they'd like to call it. It's not the name that I wanted to call it. Like I like one of the other ones better. There's stuff like that. But yeah, I guess I'm like got tailed off a bit. Like the safe space thing. I think it's so that, yeah, I guess I can go into talking about like the way we run our community. The way we do our events, and I think is like another like big important part of it, is for a while it was like any other event. Like I can't see who's here today, but tonight, because the lights are crazy, but generally you go to a games event and there's just lots of people that look like me, like white guys with beards, and like that wasn't what I wanted at all. And at some point when it was opened up to like mass invite, there was like 150 people like me joined, and I was like, fuck, like I need to stop this. And so now all our events are ticket splits, and we do like, I think around like 30% general admission, and then 70% like women, LGBTQ and BAME for like underrepresented peoples. And that is like, that ticket category is something that was like, it took us like months in different events to really figure out like, what am I even going to like call this without like being a dick? Like I don't know how to name these tickets at all. So that's again like lots of chat in the group, and like if anybody has like comments on that, it'd be super great to hear them, because yeah, we're always trying to like grow and trying to like be better people, right? And so like the point in that is that like we need to be really conscious, especially as like dudes, that when we see like an advert for a game event, like this game jam that I'll talk about at some point, we see like an advert for it and we're like, that's for us, no problem, like I'll be comfortable there, that'll be great. It's not like that for everybody else. Like some people might look at it and be like, I don't know if I'll be comfortable there, I don't know if there'll be people there who I can like relate with. And like, if this is like a jam that's open to everybody to come along and like make teams, then I don't know if I'll be like comfortable to speak to everybody and stuff like that. So like we're just like really trying to, our general admission tickets go like in the first day, always the first couple of days, and our other tickets need to really actively go out and like try and like tell people like, please come along, like this is a place for you, for everybody, like please come along. And like we're always working on that, and hopefully it'll get better. And hopefully we'll figure out like more about what that is that we're doing. But I think in terms of building a community, it's not okay just to like hope that stuff like that will happen. I think it's important to be like just really proactive with that and really conscious of it, and definitely willing to for like criticism, like that whole ticket thing. Like I'm sure there's still people that think what I've done is wrong, but there's plenty of people who like message me and say, oh, by the way, have you thought about this, because it went through lots of different iterations, and that's really great. So yeah, that's like a big part of what DevSpace is, hopefully, in its identity, that it's safe and open to everybody, and working towards making that like better. We partner with, just now, we're starting to do more work with women in games and BAME in games. I was supposed to have a meeting with David, who's like the CEO of both of them today, but he didn't turn up on Skype. But I did have an email from him there, so I guess it's fine. I'll let him off. So we're working with them for like a big event we have coming up is this jam on April the 7th and 8th. And I think at some point we need to talk about it, because I think there will be a space in Madrid, hopefully, for people to take part in like a physical way, but it's an online game jam, and it's in support of, I mean, I guess we'll probably try and find like a similar, if the event in Madrid goes ahead, we'll probably try and find like a similar charity in Spain or in Madrid, and try and like put some of the, like split the funds somehow. But currently it's a game jam to raise money for Women's Aid, which is a charity that supports domestic abuse survivors, like women and children who have been in bad situations. And it's just like a way that we have like this big community, and we're like, oh, we have all these people now, and they all like make cool stuff. Like, how can we use that to somehow maybe like do like a little bit of good? So we're going to do this game jam, and hopefully not just a game jam, but again we're calling it an art jam. It's really artsy, but we're going to make art and music and like probably lots of like silly computer games, bundle them up and sell them, and then the money will go to charity. It's going to be like little like mini party games, like WarioWare style stuff, and we'll put them all together afterwards into one big game, or that's the plan just now. but it's see how that goes. That could be a nightmare. That's from our last jam. I made all these slides in like half an hour today because I wasn't prepared at all. So they're really random and don't have anything to do with anything. I should have said at the start, if you have like questions and stuff, like shout out and like talk to me. This is the first time I've talked about this stuff really, and so I don't know what people want to really know about as much as like the stuff that I'm aware of and the stuff that I do. So if you have any like questions and stuff, then please shout out. So the future of our community, hopefully we want to work towards, I'm speaking to some people about funding just now. We're trying to get funding to have a small workspace that people can hire out for days at a time or weeks at a time. And it'll be free. All our events are free, like everything we ever do is free. Most of the costs, I cover some of it myself, and then like sometimes we get some money from people, or usually we get free venues and stuff like that, so it's fine, and the costs are always like really little. But we're trying to get funding just now to get like a workspace together, so we can get people together, like working together, because like one of the other reasons like I wanted to make something is like this, because I knew that it existed. I knew that smaller versions of it existed in other countries anyway, like games, like commune sort of things, like Blitz City in LA and stuff like that. And I thought, like, why does nobody in London really talk to each other? It's like a busy place. Like none of the indie devs really knew each other that well. It's quite strange. But we only did this by just doing it and just starting it. So hopefully like dev space can like act in the future as a, when we get it like working properly. Like just now, I mean, it's sometimes there's 40, 50 people at an event, sometimes there's 5, and we need to work out why that happens and like how to make it better and what people really want, and like, because it can't just be like made up by me or like other people. We need to like listen to people and figure it out. But hopefully it can act as like a pattern for other like people to do it in other places, and then if enough people do it in different places that we are like friends with, then we can like work together and make like a bigger connected network, and like helping people find work and making sure people are like it's so important just to like even talk to people and like socialize, especially when you're working on indie stuff. And it's difficult for like games can be an outlet, like any creative practices can be an outlet for people who are less like sociable and stuff. So it's important to try and like support each other and build these communities, and yeah, it's like talk to each other. And like honestly, like I'm not trying to be patronizing because everybody knows this already, but your art's only better when you're like speaking to other people and like looking at their work and like getting inspired by it, and like yeah, it just feels nice to like help each other and like work together. So yeah, that's really all kind of I wanted to say, like the importance of like trying to build communities, and even if they're small or big, and like really being vigilant and being really proactive to make those communities and those spaces like safe and for everybody, and doing your best to achieve that. And yeah, everybody, like if we do this like jam thing, then everybody should take part, because it'll be a really lovely thing. We're making mini games, and like I'm building like a little series of tools just now for Unity, so that the idea is hopefully that like even like a 5-year-old child could like ostensibly like just make a game using these bits and pieces of Lego to put together. So even if you spend like half an hour making a little mini game and sending us it, that would be great. And it will be for good in the end. But if you want to know more, if you want if anybody has groups, if anybody thinks of stuff that could help us, then please let me know about it. There's quite a big amount of Spanish devs in our Slack group already, so feel free to hit us up for an invite. There's a website with a form you can fill in to get invited. It's not just for Londoners or UK people or that, even though we voted Brexit, we're still friendly with everybody else. So yeah, feel free to hit us up for an invite or start a new one. Slack and Discord and stuff, it's easy, and just invite people, and people are people generally want to socialise and want to speak to each other, and it's taken a lot of we're only a year in and it's so young and it's not really anywhere that we want it yet, but it's so cool. I see people on Twitter all the time just hanging out at random events, and I'm they definitely met each other in dev space and stuff like that, and yeah, it's rad. Turnfall released a game the other day that they made in the Slow Jam. That was rad. So some of my favourite devs. But yeah, it's cool. So we should I got asked in I talked to some people while I was over here about this before I talked tonight, the last couple of days, and got asked what's important thing that you would tell younger devs and stuff. And that's definitely it. Don't be insular, if there isn't a community, try and build one, and it's really important. And a lot of the time this could be something that it's just it's fun for you to hang out, but this kind of stuff is really important to people, making friends. In this day and age, mental illness is rife, and it's a kind of scary time, and community and bonding with each other and stuff like that is just super important, and that's pretty much it for me.